Hey guys, so I have been playing some Legends of Runeterra. If you guys haven't heard of this game, it is a collectible card game from Riot, the people who make League of Legends, and this game is it uses all of the things from League of Legends. Yes, I still am playing HOTS, still gonna make content for HOTS, but I am having fun with this game, so I do want to start making a little bit of content for it while it's a little popular, and then if it ends up calming down, I'll just go all the way back to HOTS. But otherwise, I'm having fun with it. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this game. I will show you some gameplay as well, so you get to see how it plays out. It has a very extensive tutorial though, so you can learn every way that the game plays, and it also gives you some puzzles during the tutorial so that you can go and like try to solve difficult situations so you can really learn how everything plays out. However, I do want to go and share a few things because the number one thing that people tend to ask me when we're going into a card game is, how pay to win is this card game? And I'm going to say that this is the least pay to win only because they limit in how much you can actually buy. So I threw in $100 into this game and I was only able to spend about 10% of what I got. Maybe 15%, something around there. I literally threw $100 in, which was about 10,000 give or take, and I'm at 9,000 and I've bought everything that I can possibly buy. I think it gave me not 15,000. It was 11,500, I think is what I actually had, and I'm at 9,000. And I bought everything that's related to cards. I bought the starter bundle and I bought all of the wild cards, and I'm done. It doesn't restock for 3 more days, and I can't spend any more money. So it's probably the least pay to win out of all of them. And you almost unlock more cards by not doing that. For example, wild cards, the rare and the common wild cards, you could only buy 6, and I already have 14 of the green and 12 of the blue, and I've literally only played this game for like 3 hours. So you can unlock stuff really, really quickly, and I will be having a guide on how to unlock things even faster if you want to just like min-max or just spend like an entire day farming for experience and just unlock a huge portion of the cards until it gets fixed or patched or whatever, because as of right now they're very, very liberal with the cards that you can get and the experience you can get. You get chunks of experience every day, and that experience goes into pretty much everything that you need: wild cards, extra cards, shards, unlocks for expeditions, and expeditions are very rewarding as well, which are essentially the arena modes of this game. So yeah, right now there are 3 game modes. There is ranked, unranked, and expedition, and expeditions are that. So you can play versus players, you can play versus AI. When you're playing versus players, you get to choose between normal and ranked. When you're playing versus AI, you get to choose between versus AI or the tutorials, which gives you a very specific deck and gives you specific tools in order to complete those tutorials. And then finally you have expeditions, which are against players. You build a deck, and then after you get 7 wins, now from my understanding of the expeditions is you get to try it twice. And then you get to choose the better reward out of the 2. So if you get 3 wins one time and 7 wins another time, then you get to choose the 7 wins for that cost. Another thing that's cool about it is you have to get 2 losses in a row to be kicked out. So you can go win loss win loss win loss win loss win loss all the way up until your 7th game, and then it has to be a win. If you lose, you're out. So 7's pretty difficult. 6 is pretty reasonable though, as long as you can hold a 50% win rate. But yeah, overall, it's relatively easy to get some expedition gold through there. So we're going to have more people willing to do expeditions, which is pretty nice. And so that is the general basis of the monetization. There are extra things you can buy in the store. For example, you can buy... hold on. You can buy extra boards. I think the way to go to the... Oh, here we go. Here's the boards. So with the extra boards, you can click on this, and you can see what your board looks like against all the different boards in case you end up picking up this board. And the boards are about $10, while the Guardians are about $5. And the little Guardians, they just sit to the side and they have little animations. So they look like this. They do their little animations, and they will do like just little things. They're all just extra stuff. I personally just like the Poro, which was funny because that's one that you just get to start off, and I just like the Poro. So I'm probably not going to pick up any of these, although they're not too expensive and not a lot of people have them. So if you do get them, then people are going to be like, oh, okay, like this person's Really into this. I'll probably end up picking up a board pretty soon, but yeah, so their goal is to make most of their money through cosmetics, and so the cards you can actually get pretty reasonably. I mean, again, like these are all the cards you unlock pretty much just by playing through all the tutorials, and then of course you will get a bunch of extra shards and whatnot. 1 day of dailies usually gives you about 1500 experience, and then what that experience will go into is your reward path. So in this case, my reward path right now is Noxus. And Noxus will have a certain amount of experience to gain a level. Right now, I'm almost to this level, and that's going to require, let me go to, I need to remember where it is. Oh, change regions. So you can see that I need 400 experience. So this entire experience bar is probably 2,000. What people recommend is you get to level 5 in each of these first, and you'll unlock the majority of, or at least a good chunk of cards, and then you start going in the long journey of getting to level 20. So you normally want to just keep swapping. But for the most part, I just felt like I would leave it here for now, and because I like Noxus, it's a cool one. So what are these? Are the regions, and the regions are the colors. If you've ever played Magic the Gathering, you'll know that each color does something specific. So in Magic the Gathering, red is damage and speed. Blue is to slow things down and draw power. Green is ramp, as well as big creatures. Then you have like black, which is usually related to graveyards or related to things dying, and they usually have the effects of the other colors, but at a cost. And then you have white, which is usually very powerful effects, but very difficult to cast. Which makes it to where if you combine colors, you normally want to combine green with difficult to cast creatures, or you want to combine blue into control decks to try to slow down the game or give yourself card advantage. Well, it's the same idea in this game. You get these regions, and there are specific things that need to be connected to those regions, and the champions you pick will give you the regions that you are able to use spells for, or that your spells just synergize with. So there's less downsides to picking multiple regions in this game than there is picking it in Magic Gathering. Because in Magic Gathering, you have to have the land to cast those. In this, you're pretty safe to just go straight into one region if you need to, or you can splash into other regions. Demacia is kind of like the white. It's very powerful spells, really good creatures, tend to have powerful effects. Blue is actually a mix, or Freljord is actually a mix of blue and green. It has mana ramp, and then it also has ways to slow down games. Then you have Ionia, which tends to be a little bit more control-y, and a little bit more combo-y. You have Noxus, which is pretty much aggro-related, and so imagine this one as red. You have Piltover, which is kind of combo-y as well. And then you have Shadow Isles, which is like black, where you have things, but they're all at a cost. You either lose life, you have to discard cards, or you have to do something to make these effects work, like have something die on your field to make these effects work. They have really cool effects on the cards, similar to Magic the Gathering, which we're going to play out a game, so you get to see how it plays out, and then I'll talk about the effects afterwards. But again, the tutorial is going to be your best way for learning the different mechanics of the games and how it actually plays out. So let me pull this up, and I will go into the cards and whatnot after that. Actually, it looks like I'm going against a player here instead of a... hopefully this isn't ranked. I didn't even see what I was queuing into. But that's okay. So I have a really random deck, so this is going to be a little tricky. I'm going to discard all of this and try to grab other things. Hopefully I'm going against a bot, so it speeds this up. I can always just surrender, worst case. So you get 1 mana per turn, and if you don't spend your mana, it will go into a spell-only mana pool. So in this case, I'm not going to spend any of this mana. I'm simply just going to pass, which means that he gets to go, and the turns always go at the same time. So I take a turn at the same time that the opponent takes a turn. The only difference is that one person gets to attack on their turn and one person defends. In this case, they have a 2/2 and a 2/2 with tough, so I'm simply just going to place a 2/1, and I can only block this one and kill it, otherwise this one needs to take 3 damage to die. Now, like Hearthstone, the health is the damage is permanent unless it says otherwise. So if I would do 1 damage to this, it would be a 2-1. But tough makes it to where it's kind of difficult to do damage to because it always mitigates the first damage. So I'll just block this one. I'll take 2. And when this number right here hits 0, I lose the game. There are also other 0 areas where you can lose more than that. And so I am using some of my spell mana right here that I saved from the previous turn. And I'm going to summon these guys. It'll just give me an extra thing before I get into my attack turn. And now that I'm on this turn, I want to try to get out a creature. So in this case, I'm going to get out something that stuns his. Stun just means that it can't attack or block this turn. And then it is my attack turn. So if he summons something, then it can block. But if he doesn't summon anything, then I can just swing out. Braum is a really good card. I'm just going to swing out, though, and I'll let Braum block the 3, and then I'll still do 2 damage to him. Braum will level up, and this is the one thing that this game does well that, or this is the one thing that this game has unique to others, is the champions. Let me end the round, I'll let him go into his. The champions have special level up mechanics, and they have special abilities. So in this case, he gets to choose what... If he attacks, he gets to choose what blocks, and he also regens his life. If he takes 10 damage, then he transforms into an upgraded version. He still has these 2 effects, but when he takes damage, you will then summon a Mighty Poro, which is a 3/3, and it's a really cool effect for a creature that is... I mean, for literally Braum, who is a 3 cost, this is an awesome effect to have on a 3 cost. But we can just use a Culling Strike here and take out Braum, because we do put it in the deck just to answer Braum. And that'll finish at least Braum. Now we need to just get out a couple things to make this a little easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually just bring out this Dredger. And with the Dredger, we're going to discard the armaments. So each turn will go, again, I get something to do, he gets something to do. I get something to do, he gets something to do, until we get to combat, and then we do whatever we need to do. So it's a it's a really cool gimmick of a back and forth that a lot of games don't have. Right here, I'd probably just want to attack, but he'll block with the 2. So we'll still be able to get some good damage out. I wouldn't really mind just getting some extra damage out here. And then I have like this where I can rally. Rally means that I can attack on his turn. So I want to save this until I have a better situation. So right here, this is fine actually for me. This will kill this because Tough will reduce 1 damage, so he'll still take 2. And then he's just going to take a chunk of damage. So I could also Shunpo here, which is probably what I'm going to do. Killing this, and I can give myself another attack phase if I want to. The tricky part about giving myself another attack phase here is that I don't really want to attack again because he just summons something that's going to be really difficult to deal with. So he can block again. You can block as many times on a turn as you want to, as long as you're only blocking 1 creature per block phase. So I don't really want to rally here and take another combat. As far as the Blade's Edge goes, I don't really want to do 1 damage to anything because I don't need to. So we're simply just going to pass, and we can only store 3 of this 5 mana though. So that's the downside. But at 6 mana, I can then cast my Darius, or I can do 2 in 1, and my Darius would get bumped up because his level up says that you need to do 10 damage, or they need to be at 10 or less core health. So he'll be able to level up here. So I can either kill something, like kill that, and do some extra damage, or I can just get Darius leveled up, which I think getting Darius leveled up is going to be the best bet. So we're going to get Darius out, and then worst case, we can block and do something crazy with him. So we'll see how it plays out. Because leveling up is going to turn him into a 10-5, which will be rather scary. So what we want to do here is we want to block, and then that'll be left with 2 life. We're going to block, and that'll be left with 1 life. And then we are going to use a Blade's Edge to finish off this one, and we're going to use a Mystic Shot to finish off this one. And then we should have a pretty decent thing right here. I mean, Darius is actually... This will wipe his board while also leaving a Darius on my field and a 5/5 on his. I mean, not wipe his board, but you get the general idea. And there we go. So now on my turn, I mean, my goal is to see if I can deal with his thing. So we're in a tricky situation because he still has a decent amount of life. So we're going to summon a house spider. And we might just block next turn. Because we want to keep our Darius alive until we can do something big with him.
Tremble before the winter's claw.
Yeah, that's going to be a little tricky to deal with. So we're just going to pass. If we attack now, he's just going to kill my Darius and then also kill this and still survive. So we need to make sure that we have something a little bit more aggressive coming out here. This deck is all about dropping all of my cards as fast as possible, and then utilizing one of the cards that's in the deck called Jinx, which is one of the champions I chose. And Jinx, when you have no cards in hand, she transforms, or she levels up. So that's kind of my goal with that. In this case, we're just going to try to pass back and forth, get this game over with, and this way you can still see how the gameplay goes. So right here, this is actually pretty decent. I can clear up some of his board by doing this. This has breakthrough and it's going to heal whatever the damage that is done anyways. So we're going to do something like this. We don't even want to block this. So we do have elusive, but outside of that, we're likely just going to lose this one because there's not much we can do. We can Shunpo to kill this and then do one attack phase and with our elusive, and that's probably going to be a decent turn to do because it'll allow us to attack once with just our elusive. And so we'll attack with just an elusive. Get him a little lower. That way if I can do one more damage to him, then that turns into a 10-5. So now it's my turn to attack. I can do 3 damage, but I can't discard anything. So unfortunately I can't do 3 damage. However, I can attack first with her and then attack with him. But I mean, ultimately this is not gonna... Unless he doesn't block with anything. But yeah, that's... I still lose after this, unfortunately. Or at least he gets an attack phase. So he's going to transform. He's a 10-5. I will do 5 damage through, and then I will lose my Darius. So he's at 2 life. If I draw something, I can probably just kill him with this, though. So next turn, I should be able to kill him unless he can sneak out 4 damage or a rally. If he gets a rally, then I'm in trouble. But I will draw 1 card before next turn. So as long as he doesn't rally, we're okay. And again, still no rally, so we should be okay. Because we get to draw on his turn too. So, and remember, both players are taking turns at the same time. So right here, now all I have to do is cast a fast spell, which fast, you'll learn that fast essentially means can be played on at any time, but allows the opponent to respond. So what's going to happen is it's my action. I can now cast this, discard this, and attack him for 3. If he doesn't have a way to heal himself that is faster, then he's going to take 3 damage here. So he gets time to react. He can heal himself or he can counter it. He doesn't have a counter, he doesn't have a heal, so I just won that game. And that's essentially how it plays out. This game is a lot more about control and interactivity than a lot of the other ones. So even though I'm playing an aggro deck, which is normally very boring and just straightforward, always go face, you could see that I did put some priorities on controlling his board, as well as I put some priorities on other things as well. So it's an interesting game because there are a lot of nuances, and I want to go through, now that you see how it plays, I want to show you some of the champions that are available so that you can kind of get ideas about what you want to do. So let me head over to the cards, and let me just sort purely by the let me filter just by the champions. So the champions, for example, Elise. Start of the round, when you attack, you summon a spiderling. And then at the start of your round, you'll transform if you have 3 other spiders. And what's going to happen is that if you have 3 other spiders, you will transform into Spider Queen Elise, which means all other spiders have challengers, so you get to choose who blocks. And they have fearsome, so something can't block it if it has a 3 or less power. 2 or less power. And then also, if you draw a second Elise while you have Elise, you will draw Elise's Crawling Sensation, which just allows you to have extra versions of this card in your deck, which is pretty cool. These are the spiderlings that you summon, and this is a pretty much what she does. She's a really cool hero. The Jinx is the one that I use in the deck. You get quick attack, which means that when you're attacking, your damage strikes first. So if something has 4 life that you're hitting, you will kill it before you take damage. Then it levels up when your hand's empty. When your hand's empty, the start of the round, you will draw 1, which means you're already going to draw a card for your turn. Then you're also going to draw another one. Then the first time you empty your hand each round, you create a fleeting super mega death rocket. So the goal of this deck is to use a bunch of low-cost cards, and then you get Jinx out, and then every single turn, you draw 2 things, you cast 2 things, and then you get a super mega death rocket, which is this. It's a 2-cost, deal 4 damage to enemy nexus, and 1 to all of the other enemies. So essentially, when you get Jinx out, you should have about 6 mana, and all of your cards in your deck should cost 1 or 2. So you cast 1, 2, death rocket, 1, 2, death rocket, 1, 2, death rocket, until the other person's gone. So it's a really cool aggro deck that I personally really like. And then I throw in a Darius as a finisher because you saw that piercing damage was just enough for me to actually finish them. That's what Overwhelm is. So it's cool. I mean, Thresh is a crazy one as well. His level up bonus is I've seen 6 units die. He's also a 3/6, so he's kind of hard to kill. And when he sees 6 units die, he levels up. And then the first time I attack this game, summon an attacking champion from your deck or hand. That can be any champion that you want, you can then summon. So you can take something that's really expensive, like a Tryndamere, like an 8-cost, and bring a Tryndamere from your deck, and you can bring it out attacking. So you get to bring out a Tryndamere who has 8 damage overwhelm, and if he dies, he turns into a 9/9. So it's really cool how you want to play it out. And again, I'm not sponsored. I'm just hyped up to have a new card game to play. I mean, last one I was playing was a Yu-Gi-Oh game, and so I don't know how long I'll be playing this one, but I just really like the champion mechanics for this game, and I like the business model. So if you like the playstyle of Hearthstone or Magic, it has a bit of mix mash of both. The way that the units work is more like, at least the health and everything is more like Hearthstone, but the attack and block phase is more like Magic, and the priority system is more like Magic. So if you like to be able to interact with the opponents, and if you like to be able to choose your own blockers, you're going to like this game. If you like the dealing with creatures and stuff, you're going to like, in Hearthstone, you're going to like this game. Otherwise, it's just teach their own. I mean, I still play Magic Gathering, but primarily Commander these days. And so I just think it's pretty fun. So I wanted to show you guys this game, how it plays, because I might be making a little bit of content for this game for the next couple weeks, and just while I'm really into it anyways. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like it, give it a download. I don't have a referral link. Just type in Legends of Runeterra, and you'll find it. It's got a very extensive tutorial, so you can learn all of these different effects. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have been playing it, what you think about it, and all that. And if you want to see me open up one loot box. So I did just earn a capsule, and these capsules will give you a set of cards or whatever. In this case, I got just cards, I believe. So these are cards that or at least work really well with the region that I'm in. And then you also will sometimes get gems or other stuff. Usually golden chests, you will get stuff. So in this case, let me go back to the change region, and how much do I need to level up Noxus right now? So 1800. So it would be smart for me to actually switch over to another region and unlock some stuff in another region for a little bit, because it's really fast to get your first 5 or 6 rewards, and then after that it starts slowing down. So again, I recommend getting up to at least like the silver chest, epic cards, maybe a golden chest here, and then swap over to a different region. But most likely just get up to like the silver chest, swap regions, get up to the silver chest, swap regions, etc. But yeah, that is Legends of Runeterra. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and feel free to check out all of my other videos.